Most people think that they have one target audience. They don't. They have at least 5 or more.
There's new science that just came out that says that suggestions from an LLM convert at 9 times the rate of an ad. I think what we're at in this new AI world is back to fundamentals.
The world is shifting. People are no longer typing in keywords. They're actually asking complicated questions. And we have to kind of train these algorithms so that they can understand our content and so that they can act on our behalf as our salespeople in convincing someone who is interested and has come to our doors to ask, hey, do you have this thing? Does it serve my need or not?
You're watching Marketing Misfits with Norm Farrar and Kevin King.
Norm Farrar, the man from the Great White North. Did you grow that beard just because you're from the Great White North? To match? Is that like the symbol of Canada?
No, actually, I grew it because I wanted to be the Travelocity gnome. That's it.
You're a little big for that. That's a little squatty thing that sits in the yard. You're a little big for that.
I idle the Travelocity gnome.
You need a little bobblehead doll of that. You need a little bobblehead doll that bounces back and forth. So,
we need bobblehead dolls. That would be cool.
that would be really, really, really funny. You ever see those quiet assassins? Those unassuming, quiet. You think they're shy, but they're really not shy assassins. You ever known someone like that?
I do actually.
That's our guest today here. I'm really happy to have her because she's one of those quiet assassins. I remember learning about her like 8 or 9 years ago. She's working with Bernie Thompson, a guy who I've had on my other podcast. I think you might have had him on Lunch with Norm too. And she was doing some stuff with him. I was like, who is this like really smart lady that's like making you all this money? And he's like, oh, that's Ritu. And I didn't realize who that was. I thought it's like, okay, it's some Filipino VA. He got really good. Because I never met her. I hadn't seen a photo or anything. And then I met her at an event. And I was like, oh, you're not like a Filipino VA. You're actually like a really like I won't say normal person, but you're like you're not a Filipino VA. And she's one of those people that's a lot of people are creative, but they're bad with numbers or bad with logic. Or the flip side, people are good with numbers or logic or programming, but they're not creative. And she is one of those lucky ones that has both. And she uses that as a weapon. And she's someone that's been, I invited her to the first time to the virtual $1 billion seller summit that I host, and she crushed it. She won best speaker, and which means she got to come to the in-person event. And there, I forget where she placed, but I think it was second. I think if I believe. And then this last one we just did, you were at with me in Iceland earlier this year. We had someone that we know that couldn't make it due to a family issue. So Ritu was coming, and I asked her, say, do you mind stepping in? Someone, Tomer, was not able to come due to a family crisis the last minute. And she said, oh yeah, no problem. So she stepped in like a trooper, and she crushed it and placed again, I think getting second. She's a super smart person, technical, marketing savvy, and I'm super stoked to have her on here today. And I know you've had her on Lunch with Norm too, right?
A few times, Kev.
A few times. Yeah. So
you know what? Let's just get it out. You're a fanboy.
I'm a fanboy.
You are a fanboy.
I'm a fanboy. I read every word of her newsletter. Every word. Like every word. And sometimes I read it backwards. I start at the end and I read it backwards just to make sure I comprehend it. Have you ever done that?
I don't read.
I try to do that with your newsletter, but it's like some other language or something. So yeah, exactly. I keep stumbling over cigar butts as I'm reading it backwards. I'm like, what is this?
But I know for a fact you're a fanboy when I come over to your place all the time, and you've got these custom Ritu pillows all over your couch.
Hey! Don't tell her that, Norm. I'm gonna have to send the secret assassin after you.
All right. Well, let's bring her on.
Assassin after your gnome.
Nobody touches the gnome.
Is this the gnome or is that the gnome?
This is the gnome.
You guys are just cracking me up.
How you doing, Ritu?
I'm doing great. I couldn't control myself. I was trying to keep quiet behind the scenes, and I was like cracking up. Oh my goodness, you guys, you're awesome.
Who's awesome? Like this
Who's more awesome? Who's more awesome? Come on now. Wait, she's pointing like this. But who's on the left and who's on the right? Because the screen's reversed. If you have it mirrored, who is it, Norm? It's me, no, it's you.
Oh. My glasses are steaming up.
I can get closer to the mic and kiss you, Norm.
All right, yeah. Let's do it. Let's do this whole episode in sexy voice. All right, Ritu. Let's start talking PPC. No. We're talking about 5 levels. Ritu, how are you?
I am good. I am so excited to be here with these 2 boys. Just, I don't know what else to call you guys. You're 2 boys.
Just two old men.
Yep,
2
old men.
Cigar boys.
That's it. So, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Absolutely. So I'm Ritu Java. I have an interesting last name, and oftentimes people think that I'm a Java programmer, and that's why I've kind of inserted that as my last name. I am not. I like creatives, and I also like a little bit of technical stuff like programming and stuff, but I'm not a programmer. I don't identify as a programmer. I am the CEO of PPC Ninja. So we are an advertising agency for Amazon, Walmart, and Google, a little bit of Meta and stuff. So, but primarily we're an agency that advertises, and we also do AI creatives. We've recently launched AI automation workflows. So we help people that are stuck with AI automations, and we kind of help them out because everybody wants to use AI in their businesses, but sometimes don't know where to start. So yeah, that's kind of a little bit about myself. I'm originally from India, as you can tell from my face and my accent. I was born in Delhi, and when I grew up, I went to Japan. And I lived there for 17 years, which is a very, 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 very long time. I don't know how that happened because I just went for a year and I ended up, extending and then went back to India for a bit and then went back again and ended up spending 17 long years, but really fun years in Japan. I love Japan. Yeah.
I hear you're doing something like you didn't quite accomplish this task. So tell us a little bit more about the assassin, what you're going to be doing.
Okay. So this was, I tried to climb Mount Fuji, I think 25 years ago. And I was able to go up to level 8.5, but I was so naive and so stupid back then. I did not prepare appropriately. Like my colleagues at work said, okay, we're going to Mount Fuji tonight. Want to come? And I was like, oh yeah, sure. I was like, oh, it must be easy. So I just packed up my warmest clothes. This is in the middle of summer when it's like absolutely, sweltering heat. It's humid. It's like hot, 35 degrees Celsius, which is, I think, 100 something. And I was like, okay, let's go. And I go in my sneakers. I didn't even own a pair of hiking boots. This was like way back when. And so I was extremely unprepared and extremely exhausted. By the time I reached 8.5, I was like, I'm done. I'm going. And 10 is the top level 10. And so I took a different route, came back the next morning. It was like a night hike. And you're basically supposed to, greet the sun in the morning and then come down kind of thing. It's like watching sunrise at the top of Mount Fuji. And so I couldn't do it. And now I have unfinished business. So this summer, I am planning to try to go up again. I don't know if I'll be able to do it, but I'm training for it. So let's see.
How high is, I know it's like the postcard picture from Tokyo when you see Mount Fuji out there. How high is it actually? What's a 10? Is that all the way, is that the summit? Is it 10?
I think it's 14,000 feet.
And where do you
so
start?
You start, I think you start at about 5 or something. So yeah, you start at 5, go to 14. So it's a pretty
So you can do
substantial elevation deal.
9,000 feet of elevation in a night?
Yeah, yeah. And it's because it's so steep. It's a straight up trail. Like it's like
Okay.
45 degrees or something like that. It's really, really tough. So
I did Mauna Kea in Hawaii. I went to the top,
okay.
but it wasn't that tough because you know, I took a car. I didn't know what everybody's talking about, all this crap about how tough it is. Just right up there.
Oh my.
Yeah, that. So what are you doing to train for that? Are you
So
hiking? I mean,
yeah, you're supposed to do a lot of things like go up Grouse Grind, which is our local mountain here in Vancouver. Just go up that several times a week. Like I haven't gotten to that point. I still need to ramp up towards it, but I do have like 2 months. And there's a very short window of opportunity because September 7th is the cutoff date for climbing Mount Fuji, and then they don't allow any climbers. So you have to do it within the next 2 months. So yeah, I'll see if I'm trained enough, then I'll attempt it. Otherwise, I don't have anything to lose. It'll be good for my health, doing all that training.
so you said earlier, you said that one of the things that your agency does is a lot of ad stuff for different places, but also some AI. And I think, and I know you've taught some stuff on AI, and your newsletter is about AI, and you do an excellent job there. You're one of the leading people when it comes to what's happening in AI, especially when it comes to e-commerce. But I think a lot of people are using AI as a toy, and they don't really understand how to get the most from AI, and that's because they don't understand the fundamentals of
Mhm.
marketing or of persuasion or of psychology and stuff. And I know you spoke at your talk at the BDSS event was on some of this, and I know you've been kind of getting the word out there. Like, look, all these tools are cool, but if you don't understand the basics of persuasion or how to actually identify the right customer, it's not going to work. And
Mhm.
so, what are you seeing with your clients when it comes to when they come to you? Just everybody wants just a quick cure, right? And they don't want to actually
Mhm.
dig down the weeds and figure out what actually is moving the needle when it comes to getting people to buy or to do whatever you're trying to get them to do.
Right. Yeah. So here's what I've seen, and it is, dismal the amount of content people put out. So when it comes to describing a product, for example, they will have like the basics of, this product has these features, and maybe if they're slightly better, they might say, okay, these are some of the benefits. So everybody knows features and benefits, and that part, I think most people have figured out. They know how to put all of that in their listing, in their images. But that doesn't mean that you can actually target the right audiences because people might be in different stages in their awareness levels, and they missed the point about letting people know what your product is about even before they've started their purchase journey. Like they may not be interested in buying from you at the moment, um, and unfortunately, people don't know how to do that. And so they just do a messy job of like a hodgepodge of like, showcasing their benefits and showcasing their products and hoping that they'll be able to win clients. That doesn't happen, So I think that we have a severe shortage of good content that has like full coverage on the different levels of awareness that your ideal target audience might be at. And so here's the opportunity we have with AI, because AI helps you brainstorm all of those very quickly. In fact, if you ask it for different messages for different types of audiences, it'll give you all those messages, and then you can just create different pieces of content that will appeal to different audiences. And so that's kind of the gist of what I'm trying to do with our agency. We're trying to get people sensitized to this and tell them that, hey, your content isn't enough. Even with their ads, those ads are not enough. You need a variety, and you need to have it be intentional.
So is that positioning, or is that stage of awareness, or is that a funnel, or what is that exactly? Or what's the difference between
Yeah.
those?
Yeah, I think I'm glad you brought up a funnel because most people do understand funnels. So let's talk about funnels and let's talk about the five levels of awareness. And there are overlaps, but they're not identical. It's not the same thing when you say a funnel mindset versus a five awareness mindset. They have overlaps, but they're not the same. So let me just go over like just a typical funnel, right? So you have awareness at the top, and then you have consideration, then you have intent, and then you have purchase. So you're essentially driving people through your funnel by slowly working on them and taking them to the next level, and then they learn a little bit more, and then you take them to the next level, and they learn a little bit more, and then they finally make their purchase. And typically, a funnel is expected to be a long drawn process of walking people through different stages, right? For example, Kevin, you have a newsletter. You might have a funnel that brings people in, like cold audiences. You might be running, let's say, some cold ads to cold audiences, and get your name out there so people know that there's something that you're talking about, and then they start noticing you, and then they kind of step into your funnel. They read more of your stuff, and then one day you might be able to pitch them your $1 billion seller summit ticket, and then they kind of make that purchase, and then they stick to you, and then they just become repeat purchasers for your funnel. Whereas, so this is like the typical funnel. And now we're talking about the five levels of awareness, which I don't know if you guys are familiar with Eugene Schwartz, but he's the author of Breakthrough Advertising. It's a book from the 20th century. It's still applicable today, but I think
It's hard to get. It's out of print. It's one of those books that if you can find it, you pay like $150 for it or something. I have
more, yeah,
or more.
You do,
yeah,
or more,
expensive.
yeah. I heard $500 last time. Yeah. So it's hard to get that book, but I mean, there's lots of documentaries on it. Lots of people have talked about it. Roland Fraser's talked about, like Molly Pittman. Like there's so many people that talk about the Eugene Schwartz model, and it's so relevant in today's day and age because we have kind of steered away from the fundamentals of marketing, and we've kind of gone after like tactics more than the spirit of what we're trying to achieve with those kind of fundamentals. So I think it's a good reminder to kind of go back to the basics and study these concepts and try to understand how your ideal customer profile is, what they're thinking. They might be behaving in a certain way in your funnel, but they might be thinking a certain way, and you need to be able to tap into their minds and basically catch them where they are, right? So let me explain the five levels of awareness. And so according to Eugene Schwartz, there's like these five levels start from completely unaware to most aware, and there's stages in between.
Hey Norm, you'll love this, man. I talked to a seller the other day doing $50K a month, but when I asked them what their actual profit was, they just kind of stared at me.
Are you serious? That's kind of like driving blindfolded.
Exactly, man. I told them you got to check out Sellerboard, this cool profit tool that's built just for Amazon sellers. It tracks everything like fees, PPC, refunds, promos, even changing COGS during using FIFO.
Aha, but does it do FBM shipping costs too?
Sure does. That way you can keep your Q4 chaos totally under control and know your numbers, because not only does it do that, but it makes your PPC bids, it forecasts inventory, it sends review requests, and even helps you get reimbursements from Amazon.
Now that's like having a CFO in your back pocket.
You know what? It's just $15 a month. But you got to go to sellerboard.com/misfits, sellerboard.com/misfits. And if you do that, they'll even throw in a free 2-month trial.
So you want me to say, go to sellerboard.com/misfits and get your numbers straight before your accountant loses it?
Exactly.
All right.
So completely unaware audiences are people who don't even know they have a problem, right? So they're like happily living their lives, and they don't think that they have a problem in a particular area, and so they won't notice your products. Even if you show it to them, they don't know what it is for, right? They'll just ignore it, and that state of mind is the wrong time to show them like try to sell them something based on features or benefits or any of that, because it's not going to stick, it's not going to register with them, because they're not even aware they have a problem. Then you have problem aware audiences. These are people who know that there's a problem that they want to solve desperately, and they're sick of it. Like they're sick of things going wrong or something, but they still haven't figured out a solution. They don't even know that a solution for that problem exists out there, right? I mean, of course, if they start looking, they might find it, but most people will just operate with just the inertia of motion of like, do the minimal stuff and just keep going through life, and they're not going to make the effort unless it becomes a real pain. Then they start looking for a solution. But till that point, they remain blissfully in the state of problem. They know the problem, but they're solution unaware, right? Then we have a stage where they are solution aware. These people know that their problem can be solved with a certain product or service, and it's just they're intrigued by the idea, but they still don't know who to go to or which product to pick. They know there's a solution, but they don't know which exact product will solve their problem perfectly. And then you have the stage of product aware. These are people who are aware of the different products out there that will solve their problem, and now they're comparing. So that's kind of where the consideration marketing kind of comes in, when they're actually in that state of mind where they're comparing different products, and they're trying to figure out which one is going to solve their problem.
So,
and then you have, sorry.
I was just going to say, just to help us out, can you give examples?
Yes, I will.
Each one? Yeah.
In just a minute, yeah. So I'll just wrap up the last bit, which is the most aware. And the most aware audience is people who actually know you or know about your type of products, and they're fully aware of like all the options that are out there. Now it's just a matter of, getting them to feel motivated enough to kind of go and make that purchase, right? They're just waiting to be prompted, for example, or they're waiting for an email from you saying, hey, we have a new product, or we just launched this new thing, go grab our 20% coupon or whatever. So those people are just sitting around waiting for that email from you to kind of kick them into action, right? So as you can see, these 5 stages are people in different states of mind. And it's not necessary that they're actually taking action on any of that stuff. It's just who they are in their state of mind. So now let me give you an example. So let's say you are selling stretch lids. And what are stretch lids? These are like kind of silicone, reusable, flexible covers that go on top of like your steel containers of various shapes and sizes, or they go over like half-cut fruit or whatever. It's like just a nice little, stretchable lid that keeps your food, kind of fresh for a long period of time. So when it comes to stretch lids, what would we say is an unaware audience? So an unaware audience is still using like cling wrap, like from 20 years ago. They're continuing to do cling wrap stuff. They're using and throwing, and it doesn't even keep your food from spilling. And sometimes even with a cling wrap, you still might have rotting fruit or whatever. So these guys don't know that they have a problem. They're just continuing on. They're like, yeah, cling wrap is the thing to do. Just keep going, right? So those are the unaware people. Then you have problem-aware people. Problem-aware people are sick of like, these lids that don't match, and they're sick of like food spills in the fridge, for example, or things that went bad, even though they thought they had preserved it, it's gone bad already. So these guys know that they have a problem, but they don't know that this thing called a stretch lid exists. They don't know about it. And then you have the solution-aware audience. These are people who know about stretch lids, and they are intrigued by, they've seen it on TikTok or Instagram or something, like, yeah, I know that thing, that silicone thing that goes over your different shaped utensils or whatever. And, they're just intrigued, but they haven't yet come across products that might solve their problem. Then you have the product aware audience. These guys are the ones that know that there's silicone lids. And now these guys are actually comparing the stretch range, and then they're comparing how well it's going to like survive the dishwasher, for example, or whether they're actually food safe. And so they're looking up those attributes. They're trying to figure out they're trying to figure out the best option from among many. So these are in the product aware state of mind. And then the most aware guys are people who've already purchased once. They have a stretch lid lying around in their kitchen somewhere, and now they're saying, "Oh, that was a good purchase. Let me look for different sizes, or let's see if the brand that I purchased for is selling it on a discount or something. Are they doing something for Prime Day, for example?" So those are the most aware people who are kind of almost like ready to purchase if they just get the right trigger or the right message from you or from something that they see. So that's kind of the simple kind of description of each of these different levels of awareness, if that makes sense. If you guys have any thoughts or questions. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I do. So that's the fundamental. So you can actually create ads that target each of those stages. And in the old way of doing things, like with PPC, like what you did with your clients for Walmart and Amazon and Google, that was all around keywords. So someone going to Google, the old thoughts is they're kind of mostly in the research stage, or they're in a different stage of these 5 levels than someone who might be typing in keywords on Amazon or on Walmart. They're more like, I'm looking for this specific thing, and they might be still doing some research, or they may not know the product, but they're trying to solve the problem. So how does now AI change that from keyword based to everybody? All these new LLMs are more intent based and conversational based. So from the 5 levels of awareness point of view, how does this shift of the way the world is changing to interact with to buying products to buy or to buying solutions to your problem, how do marketers need to be changing their thought process with the underlying Eugene Schwartz framework on top of the new way of searching versus the old way?
Yeah, I love that question. So even before we go to ads, I think we have to start with content, like just having different pieces of content that speak to all these different audiences or these different people sitting in different levels of awareness and meeting them where they are, so that anytime any of these people come across any piece of content from you, they are immediately kind of compelled or nudged to go check you out, right? So that's basically the goal. The goal is to have different pieces of content ready for all different types of awareness levels. So once you have those different pieces of content ready, then you can put a little bit of money behind them. Sometimes you can combine 2 awareness levels into one ad instead of just keeping them as like 5 and then you have so many ads. You can sometimes combine them into like a single ad, but use the right sort of keywords so that they can reach the right audience. Because still, all these, platforms like Amazon, Facebook, Google, they still operate on the keyword level. They still haven't kind of switched entirely to being audience driven. Now, even with the audience driven kind of platforms like DSP, for example, you still don't have the ability to target in the way that I'm describing. They're still limited to things like age or demographic or location and things like that. But there is an opportunity with remarketing based on past behavior. So for example, you can look for people who have previously visited certain types of pages, and you can guess from that what they might be interested in. Again, it's not one-to-one with what I'm describing. My approach here is going to start heavily on organic first, like making sure that you have enough coverage in the way you describe your product and the way you do social media marketing, where you're like almost every other post is about every other audience type, so that you can catch them, with frequency. Of course, you want to catch them in whatever frame of mind they are or awareness they are, and bring them into your funnel. So that way you can compress the cycle, and quickly get them into your to be interested in your products and services. So and the question that you ask about Rufus and other types of kind of AI based, conversational e-commerce opportunities that we have now, I think more than ever before, we've got to structure our content in that format of structured snippets or Q&A, prompt and response. And so just thinking of everything that we put out, or every piece of content that we put out in that format, it helps to train those sorts of conversational e-commerce chatbots and services around that, so that we can get discoverability through them, because the world is shifting. People are no longer typing in keywords, they're actually asking complicated questions, and we have to kind of train these algorithms so that they can understand our content and so that they can act on our behalf as our salespeople, in convincing someone who is interested and has come to our doors to ask, hey, do you have this thing or not? Does it serve my need or not, right? So so I guess I just maybe want to give you an example from ads, like two types of ads that you could use that will reach different audience types. So for example, let's say you're selling let's say you're selling a hose pipe, for example, and this hose pipe has a certain feature set. It's like 10 feet long. It's made of a certain material. It has some internal braiding that keeps it solid and strong. And then it has nozzles that, can be adjusted, and you can have different types of like spray, whatever configurations. Now, if you were to market this through ads to different audience types, you could consider different visuals or different videos, for example, that will speak to audiences that are in different levels of your awareness. So, for example, in order to attract someone who is, let's say, totally unaware of a very common problem of freezing in the winter, you have like frozen pipes, right? You have frozen pipes, and often it'll be covered in ice, and you have to kind of literally hammer it to kind of release the hose from its ice cage. And that visual of like someone hammering, it's actually an ad that I actually saw, where they're hammering at it and then they kind of break the ice. And the message there was that what we're selling is an all-weather high performance hose pipe, right? So what they're doing with this ad is essentially they are creating this sense of curiosity. They're informing people who are unaware of this thing called all-weather performance hose pipe. Like it seems like, wow, I wouldn't need that. Like I don't need an all-weather high-performance hose pipe. But the moment I see it, when I see it being frozen and the problems, then you start to identify with it. You're like, oh yeah, it actually does happen. It does freeze, and then I can't straighten it out, and it's the water goes all crooked, or it doesn't flow properly, etc. So there you've got them in that moment thinking that, hey, now I know there is a problem here.
Now, a quick word from our sponsor, Levanta. Hey, Kevin, tell us a little bit about it.
That's right, Amazon sellers. Do you want to skyrocket your sales and boost your organic rankings? Meet Levanta, Norm and I's secret weapon for driving high-quality external traffic straight to our Amazon storefronts using affiliate marketing. That's right. It's achieved through direct partnerships with leading media outlets like CNN, Wirecutter, and BuzzFeed, just to name a few, as well as top affiliates, influencers, bloggers, and media buyers, all in Levanta's marketplace. which is home to over 5,000 different creators that you get to choose from.
So are you ready to elevate your business? Visit get.levanta.io/misfits. That's get.levanta, LEVANTA.io/misfits, and book a call, and you'll get up to 20% off Levanta's Gold Plan today. That's get.levanta.io/misfits.
And so the next time they're looking for a hose pipe, they'll probably consider that. But even if they look at it and they think they need a hose pipe right now, they're probably going to look for this brand because this brand has done a great job of explaining that this is solving a problem that they had in their minds, right? And then if you were to target someone who's, let's say, product aware, solution aware, product aware, and most aware, you probably want to have this ad showing very minute details about this hose pipe. You want to say, oh, this has like metallic, so let's say you have a metallic point, which can be swapped out for this and that. And you have like a very sturdy handle that can, hold and kind of let you maneuver it easily, etc. Those are features, and they're like extra nice things that only a person who's already interested in a hose pipe will be looking for, right? They are the people who are further along, and they know everything about how these hose pipes, the all-weather types, can help you. But then now they're being pitched some special features and stuff. Now, for the most part, people are good at this type of ad. They're good at showing their features and their benefits, but they're not good at the first type of ad where you're generating curiosity and you're showing a visual of something that is so identifiable, like a frozen ice cage for your hose pipe. So again, even with two simple visuals, you can target like all 5 stages of the awareness. And of course, you can do hyper targeting with keywords and pick the right keywords for this range so that you can reach those people more easily.
So how do you do that though in a marketplace? How do you do that on a marketplace? Because on a marketplace like Amazon or Walmart, you have a single listing. And that single listing, you have a few different video options and different things, but are you mixing different levels of awareness in each of the pictures? I know when you run the ads, you could target different people, but they're going to end up at the same places, which is basically where they're that hyper aware you want to sell them.
Right.
Now, if you're running Shopify or you run your own blogs, your own stuff, you could have different landing pages and different gateways that are hyper targeted to each one of those. It's much easier to do. Yep. So how do you do this? Are you using the DSP and the ads and video ads to train them, but then when they click through that, they go to a place that's at a different, trying to convert them at a different stage of awareness? And so how do you balance this, or how do you handle that?
Yeah, so on Amazon, for example, we always use single funnel ads. So if you have a video ad, we're leading them to a special purpose landing page where all we're doing is talking about that product, and depending on where they came from, which keyword combination, we're just talking about that. So I know it's very hard for a lot of people to set up separate pages for the landing page, but that's the right thing to do. And so
on Amazon, you're doing that on Amazon. So different. So how are you doing a different landing page on Amazon? Because you have the storefront and you have the PDP. Are you doing separate PDPs that target slightly different? They're different, or how are you doing that?
Yeah, so we have on the storefront, you have the option of creating levels. So you can have the top menu item, and then from within that, you can go drill down to the second or third or fourth. And sometimes you can even target pages that are not even visible on the top. So we create hidden pages, like it's almost like a hidden page deep down in the hierarchy, and you send traffic to those pages. That's what we've been doing with our ads. Yeah, we don't show them the home page ever. Like we never lead let's say a sponsored brand video ad, we never lead them to a homepage, because a homepage has everything, like all your products. It's so distracting. Like they came in looking for one particular product and then you're showing them everything. That's like, releasing a kind of a kid in a candy shop. They're like, oh, they have this, they have that, they have this, and then they get distracted.
It's Norman Baskin Robbins.
That's what,
Norman.
when they have 32 flavors, I walk out.
There you go. Yeah. So that's the homepage. The 32 flavors of Baskin Robbins is right there. So you never want to do that. You never want to lead people to a general purpose page. You always need special purpose landing pages. And so that's the way you control your audience.
Okay.
Otherwise, yeah, that's how we do it.
And can you do that on Walmart too? Can you do that on Walmart too?
So Walmart, no, Walmart, not yet. I don't think so. Yeah. Yeah. Walmart is always several years behind Amazon.
So can we go back to the social media side of things? So you were
Yes.
saying that, you were doing different levels and showing, just filling up the feed that hopefully you're going to hit somebody's wherever they are at that awareness level. Now, when we put out something on social media, we usually try to mix it up, try to use around 7 different types of content. So it could be a fact, it could be a recipe, it could be whatever it is. Do you do that with each of the layers? So you've got 5 times 7, basically.
So, when you have a question like fact or myth, for example, this is intriguing. It is talking to perhaps level 1 or level 2, depending on how you word it. The copy also matters, right? So you're kind of killing 2 birds with 1 stone right there. So that can be like your brand unaware or aware, problem unaware and problem aware audience. And then you can mix that in with something different tomorrow. Or if you're posting several times a day, each of your posts can be speaking to a different audience. And that way you have rich content. And no matter, like if they see it, they'll self-identify. Because that's the idea of self-identification.
All right. What about on timing? So a lot of brands or sellers will go out there and they might not be hitting their market. They might be off. They might be at a different level. How do you address this?
Yeah, so that's the whole point. Like everybody's going to be on different timing, and you need to just find the right timing by not finding out who these people are, but you putting out timing for different people who are ready for that level, and you basically create a match right there. So if someone is even slightly aware of your, let's say your cigar group or something, they've heard about it, or they're kind of aware and they're intrigued, and then now you present them, if you present them with like options about what is it you guys are doing in October, November, something with the cigar
November
group?
6th to 10th.
There we go.
Shameless
there we
plug.
go.
Collective
Shameless
Mind
plug.
Society.
Yeah, so that post will mean nothing to someone who doesn't know you, for example, or doesn't even know that they could be enjoying like cigars with you guys, or but the moment you put that out and the way you word it, speaking to that particular audience that is kind of solution aware, now they're just looking for the right products, they can see your product and they will be interested in it. And the rest of the audience who don't care about cigars, they will just blow by it, and that's fine. They will see other pieces of content that are relevant to them, and that way you can have many messages as well, because there's many audiences. You don't have one avatar. You actually have many, right?
Oh,
and so that's where people get confused. Yeah.
Everybody loves cigars.
Oh,
there's just one demographic. You're going to come out and you're going to have at least
it's not
10
about the
cigars.
cigars. It's about the people. It's about the people, not the cigars. Remember.
So
yeah,
there you go.
Yeah,
we're going to send you a personalized invitation.
There you go. So yeah. So like that. See, the thing is, most people think that they have one target audience. They don't. They have at least 5 or more, because everybody is a different avatar. All these people in different levels of awareness are different avatars that you need to. Mm-hmm.
So it sounds like you're controlling this now by ad spend, but where we're headed, and I've been studying this a lot. Norm and I are about to do a whole lot of stuff, and probably be talking to you about. Well, not probably. We are going to be talking to you about this. Is on the AEO side of things, where with I see, Rufus is just basic. This is like the very first iPod that was a brick that held 10,000 songs. That's what
Yeah.
Rufus is. Where this is going, the writing's on the wall, and I've been studying this extensively. We're about to see a massive shift, and the people that are on the cutting edge of this are going to make a lot of money and are going to help a lot of people. And what you're saying is fundamental, I think, and it just hit me when you're talking about this. It needs to be a core part of some of what we're doing. Is let them select themselves. Right now, you're having to go find them with advertising. The way LLMs work is they are looking for trust signals. So they're looking for social media posts and comments. They're reading Reddit posts. They're reading TikTok stuff. They're looking for press releases. They're looking for blog posts from reputable sites. They're looking for articles. So what you should be doing is taking these 5 levels of awareness and actually putting out a massive amount of content, not to try to necessarily drive traffic as your first goal back to your site to make the sale. It's an investment into training these LLMs. And there's some other stuff you got to do here that I'm not going to go into right now because Norman, I have to keep that for Dragonfish. But
I thought you were going to spill the beans.
but you do that, and then these LLMs, it's a long play. It's not a short-term win, but it's a long play. And these LLMs will start picking up on that. And when they make a suggestion as to when you go in and you type with this hose thing that you're saying about, it's going to be freezing up here in Canada, I need a hose protector or hose thing to keep my stuff. And you type in that question, you want to be the only one that suggests because you've put out all these signals, and no matter what stage the people are in, you've got it covered, and that it's going to suggest you. And the LLMs, there's new science that just came out that says that suggestions from an LLM convert at 9 times the rate of an ad. And so it's crazy. What you can do here. So these fundamental things is what people need to be paying attention to. The brands that are in this for the long term, not the ones that want a quick hack, a quick win, a quick whatever. They need to be doing this right now and put aside their budget. There's no ACOS or tacos or any of this other bullshit on it.
Beep.
They're actually investing in what actually is going to matter 6 months, 2 years, 3 years, whatever it may be from now. And still, like you said earlier, you still got to ride that line. Like you said, the Walmart and the Amazons are still doing the old search keyword game right now, but it's moving away from that. It's pretty at a decent clip. And as soon as they just got to make sure they don't mess up their ad side of stuff. That's you look what Google did with overlays right now, and it's so I think what we're at in this new AI world is back to fundamentals. And those are the people that are going to win are the ones that understand the core principles and the core fundamentals and then know how to use the tools, whether that's AI or whatever, to actually make this happen at lightning speed. And with, like you said earlier, brainstorming you said it, the AI will give you the positionings, the statements, if you feed it right. And where you don't have to have a committee, it's not me, Norm, and you sitting in a room with a blackboard going, all right, let's make a list and brainstorm, write it on the board and scratch them out. It's like the world's knowledge right there.
I am Eugene Schwartz. And the prompt starts that way.
Exactly.
And get that information. Like, why not? Are you guys there?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're here. We lost your video.
Yes, yes. We lost your video.
Oh, lovely. I might have to reboot. You guys always just wanted to get rid of me. But the reason I'm saying this is the prompting of this. I mean, it's so great that you could actually go in and understand these 5 levels and reference Eugene Schwartz, and get that information.
I actually created a GPT that is basically based on Eugene Schwartz. So I in fact, So I want to give it away for free if your audience is interested.
No, for sure.
Okay. So, before I introduce the GPT, is it okay? I'll just go over the how to market to each of these 5 levels, and then I'll get into the GPT. Okay, so I'll go real quick because now I've repeated this a bunch of times. So I think people are getting familiar with the terminology here. So for unaware audiences, the way to market is to identify pain points, spark curiosity, and educate them about solutions. So it's all about like education-y stuff. Like you really want to spark them and show them something that they didn't know That's the first thing. Then in the problem aware segment, you want to market to them by highlighting the problem back at them. So they will self-identify the moment you say, oh, you know how this happens, and they'll be like, yeah. They'll be nodding their heads internally and saying, yeah, I get that. That's how this happens. So you highlight the problem back to them. For example, if you have, let's say, if you're targeting women who have like let's say using foundation or whatever, you're basically saying something like, have you noticed how your foundation cakes up in 2 hours or something? And they're like, yeah, of course, girl. I know what you're talking about. So, and then immediately after that, you present the solution, which is that I got you covered. This foundation doesn't do that. So that's quickly moving them from, just that state of just problem aware to now knowing where to go for the solution. Then the third one is solution aware, people who know that there's solutions that exist. How to market to them? You basically provide them with comparisons, because these guys already know that you have the solution, that there's a solution out there. So now you just show them, here's different types of magnesium supplements, for example. They will be able to compare them then, and then that kind of post will generate a reaction, because they already know that they want a magnesium supplement. They only just don't know which one. And so you're saying, do you know which magnesium supplement is the right one for you? So that comparison will kind of help them to, again, be interested in what you're saying. Then let's talk about the product aware people. These guys already know that there's products that will solve their problem. They know exactly what type of products will solve their problems. And to market to these guys, you have to basically build trust, because all you want to do is to move them to just highlight your successes and say how you're better than competition. So that's how you stand out, by saying, did you know that our brand does X times better than these other brands because of blah blah blah. And so that's how you market to product aware audiences.
Are you looking to quickly boost new Amazon product launches or scale up existing listings to reach first page positioning? The influencer platform Stack Influence can help.
That's right. Stack Influence pushes high volume external traffic sales straight to Amazon listings using micro influencers that you only have to pay with your products.
They've helped up-and-coming brands like Magic Spoon compete with Cheerios for top category positioning, while also helping Fortune 500 brands like Unilever launch their new products.
Right now is one of the best times to get started with Stack Influence. You can sign up at stackinfluence.com or click the link in this video down in the description or notes below and mention Misfits, that's MISFITS, to get 10% off your first campaign. stackinfluence.com.
And then how do you market to brand aware audiences? Honestly, the best way to target a brand aware audience is to create the sense of urgency with initiatives, like give them freebies or tell them about new launches or anything, because they already know you. They already know your brand. So for example, if you are selling Apple, let's say you are Apple and you're selling iPhones, you just create urgency by saying our next iPhone drops on this date or whatever. That's the way to get those brand aware audiences be interested in your content. So that's how you kind of market to all of them. Now, I want to give away a free kind of audience obsession ad prompts GPT, and I will share the link with you guys, and you can put it in the links. But basically what this does is that it'll take any piece of or any product, any one image, and it'll generate 5 pieces of content for you. So for example, if you have, let's say, like a microfiber cloth or something, it'll generate different use cases, and it'll tell you, how best to target these 5 different levels. And it even gives you a proof of concept with the visual, with the headline, what goes below, what the tagline should be, etc. So I'm happy to kind of share that with you guys, and that way you can at least break that. Yeah.
Do you want to show a demo for the people watching this on YouTube right now? Like a real quick,
Oh, sure.
example,
Yeah.
quick 2 minute for the
Uh-huh.
people on
I
YouTube?
could. Yeah.
That would be
Give me
great.
1 second.
While you're doing
Absolutely.
that, I have one other question for you thinking about too. So if you know you're out there fishing, so you're running these different stages of awareness on Facebook or on TikTok Shop, and you're hoping that the algorithm shifts you into wherever these people are. But what if you have an email list of 50,000 people, and say these are not all buyers, they haven't all bought your product, but they've expressed some sort of interest in something that you've done in the past. You don't know what stage they may be in for your new product. So would you say that you need to do 5 different emails to these? I mean, the ones that have bought, you can send a separate, segment them out. But the ones that have not bought yet, you don't know exactly which stage. So do you bring them in? Maybe they already know they're the first stage they've already passed. So you start them at stage 2, and then you hit them with that list with a stage 2, a stage 3, and a stage 4 email. So hoping that way you've at least reached them. Because if I send them all at stage 2 and they're not in that stage right now, they're going to ignore it. But if they're in stage 3 and I send them a stage 3 email, they're going to pay attention. The stage 2 just might ignore it. So what's your approach there?
So, anyone that's definitely want to segment your audience the right way. So if they are already brand aware,
If I've got, let's take a list of, I'll get a list of 10,000 Amazon sellers. Let's say I have a
yes,
list of 10,000 Amazon sellers, and
yeah,
I got this from you. Let's say you said, "Hey, Kevin,
yeah,
share my list from my last webinar." I don't know how many of those people know who I am or not. And so where do I start? Some of them probably already know me and very familiar. And so if I
yeah.
send them an email that says, "Hey, you should come to the BDSS," they're going to be like, "Yeah, I know about that. It's too expensive. I'm not coming." The other one's like, "What's BDSS? What's that? That sounds like some sexual thing. BDSM? What BDSS? What is it?" But then others are like, "Yeah, I heard about that, but I don't know. I'm not quite at that level. I'm not sure if it's for me." So they're at a different stage. So what do you do when you don't know? I understand the segment part, but when you don't know, how do you approach them?
Wouldn't
So
it
I would,
start with an open rate? Like if somebody opens your email and then you know that they're interested.
No, because Apple automatically opens all emails, so you don't know that.
yeah, I would say subject line would be your best way of figuring out where they fall. Like the subject line, for example, if your subject line is, like a fact or myth kind of thing, or did you know kind of thing, then that is like, it's likely to be opened by someone who is unaware. Whereas if you say the BDSS registrations open this Friday, for example, people who don't know you will probably ignore that. They'll be like, what BDSS, what registration?
I get that. I get how you would
Yeah,
tailor it to their stage,
yeah,
but
yeah.
but you don't know what stage they're in. So that means you got to
Yes.
send one email for each of those stages, hoping that one of those lands, basically.
You have to do so much content so that
Yeah.
one of
Okay.
them lands. Yeah, so
So,
much content that one of them lands. Yeah, and everybody who is not in that stage will either
well, ignore
blow
it.
by
Yeah.
it, they'll ignore it, and that's fine because they're getting something from you. And actually, you might be doing this unknowingly already, right? Because I get a lot of email from you, some of which I self-identify with right away. I immediately open those. Whereas sometimes, just to be honest, I I might read the subject line and I'm like, okay, this is not going to apply to me right now. Maybe I'll come back to it later.
Yep.
So it's the more content you put out, the better. Like don't be afraid. I would say don't be afraid of putting up lots of content that speak to lots of different audiences and let them self-identify. I don't see a problem with lots of pieces of content that speak to different people. I
I
don't
agree
think
with you. I just wanted you to
yeah,
say it. I agree. I just
yeah.
wanted to say it for the
Okay.
benefit of everybody here. I'm
Yeah,
not.
yeah.
Is
You're
it?
the master marketer.
But I'm wondering, is it possible? So you might want to send out those 5 emails or whatever you want to do, but is it possible if you've got this general email that people are covering and you're hitting different points, different levels of awareness within the email, and you see where they click?
Well, that's what surveys are
I
for.
mean,
The ask method.
yeah.
Right. That's
Yeah, but
what.
I'm talking about topics, Kevin,
Oh, okay.
and and how you phrase the topic, so you kind of can gauge the people that are level 1 to level
Mhm.
5 throughout a longer
Yeah.
email.
So, I also think that, your biggest funnel entry point is your title. So you'll get,
Mhm.
you'll probably have to figure out what your title will be that encompasses all these different pieces. And I generally think that if you overload an email with too many different pieces, then you're basically talking to no one. It's like talking to everyone, talking to no one kind of thing. So I would tend to just keep one focus in a single email. But if they know you, then yes, you can, and if you have sub offers, like you have your umbrella offer and that's you, your brand, and then within that you have sub offers for this or that, then maybe they can, engage with different sections of your content. Um, but yeah, I guess there's many creative ways to do it. There's no one single way. I would just ask ChatGPT and say, I want to do this. I want to do it with the Eugene Schwartz method. How do I go about it? It's probably going to give you a pretty good thing, because all these, things written about Eugene Schwartz and his work are all indexed by LLMs. They know it. Like the moment I said, write it in the style of, it knows what I'm talking about.
So you're saying it that I had a good point, Kevin.
No,
Absolutely.
that's what Copy Coders does, Norm, the tool that we use, that where you get the 20 different angles, the 20 different positions. Each one of those subject lines is basically at a different, tailored to a different point of trying to get that open. And then the whole message validates the subject line. Basically, that's similar to what they're doing. But it's what most people are not doing. And that's where we started this with Ritu saying that she sees it with clients all the time in her agency, that they're just clueless. And it's because I think a lot of people in e-com don't come from marketing. There are people who quit a job, they were, I don't know, a trash man, they quit their job, or they were working corporate somewhere and they quit their job and they fell into this. They don't come from a marketing background. And I think that's why there's a big gap in e-commerce for actual real marketing.
Yeah, I totally agree.
I have your presentation here.
Okay, great. Yeah, so I have an example here.
Oh, awesome.
Let me know if you can see my screen.
Yep.
We can.
Yeah, okay. So basically this GPT that I was talking about will take a piece of anything, any image that you have, like one product, and it's going to spit out 5 different pieces of content that essentially speak to the 5 levels of awareness. So if you look at it, this one, the first one, we're saying, hey, like most towels use 100-year-old technology, slow to dry, quick to stink, and somehow still in your bathroom. So that's kind of a nice hook for someone who is unaware, and you're trying to educate them. So it's almost like an educational piece that, this is what's happening to towels. They use old technology. So you're intrigued. You're like, oh, so there is a new technology? Like what is it? And so then it says time for a towel glow up. Right, so that's a microfiber towel, totally unaware audiences for people who don't know that they need it. Right, then you have the problem aware, because when they wipe their kitchen counters with just paper towels, they get wet, ripped, and it's just gross on the hands. And then you're just simply saying there's a better way. So again, this is identifying the pain point and then just showing them the better way. And that's how you kind of get their attention and they go straight into your funnel. This third one is for problem aware, solution aware. So these guys they know about microfibers. And now you're saying tired of microfibers that underdeliver, because now they're in that frame of mind where they're comparing options, right? So you're saying our premium towels absorb more, last longer, and never leave lint behind. So you're basically highlighting some good qualities of your microfiber towel, and then they can see that you're better, or the fact that you've self-claimed that better spot makes them wonder if you're right, and they probably will believe you. I think a lot of marketing, that begins with some sort of audacious kind of stance of how we're better. It actually helps, because whether you're better or not, they'll believe that you're better because you said so, right? Then the fourth stage here is product aware. So product aware, this is what ChatGPT spit out is still thinking about it. Thousands have already made the switch, durable, extra absorbent, worth it. So here you're basically, just kind of telling them that, you don't need to be, there's other people who've done it. So it's like a testimonial that you're kind of saying, this has been proven. This is a good option. Why are you still thinking about it? Let's move on, right? And then the last one, it's almost like reading your mind. It's saying you already know it's the one because they've already encountered your brand. They already know your product, and you're saying you already know it's the one. Don't wait. Your favorite microfiber towel is ready when you are. So that's kind of how the messaging goes down from the 5 levels. And imagine having a GPT that allows you to do this. And it can generate endless copy, like this framework with endless copy, and you can pick the one that makes the most sense. Now, obviously, you can give it more information, you can guide it, you can create guardrails around it, and just use AI for coming up with these mock-ups. And whether you use them as mock-ups or sometimes they're even good enough for like prime time, you can just use them as is. Of course, you can kind of tell them that I wanted a certain size, give me aspect ratio 1:1 or whatever. But anyway, this GPT will do it for you. It'll take you through the 5 levels, and it'll generate a prompt that you can put into GPT-4o with image, and it generates the image for you. So hopefully that was helpful.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
There we go.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that. That was cool. So yeah, I think that the moral of the story here is get back to fundamentals. I've got 2 full bookcases here of marketing books. It makes me want to go back and start reading them. To refresh my memory on some of these fundamental things, and like, oh wow, that's right. I remember that from 20 years ago. I need to do that. Cool. I can do this with AI now. Really, really cool. That's really awesome.
Hey, Kevin King and Norm Farrar here. If you've been enjoying this episode of Marketing Misfits, thanks for listening this far. Continue listening. We got some more valuable stuff coming up. Be sure to hit that subscribe button if you're listening to this on your favorite podcast player, or if you're watching this on YouTube or Spotify, make sure you subscribe to our channel because you don't want to miss a single episode of the Marketing Misfits. Have you subscribed yet, Norm?
Well, this is an old guy alert. Should I subscribe to my own podcast?
Yeah, but what if you forget to show up one time and it's just me on here? You're not going to know what I say.
I'll buy you a beard and you can sit in my chair too. And you can go back and forth with one another. Yikes! But that being said, don't forget to subscribe, share it. Oh, and if you really like this content, somewhere up there's a banner. Click on it and you'll go to another episode of the Marketing Misfits.
Make sure you don't miss a single episode because you don't want to be like Norm.
Oh.
I'm glad. Yeah, it was the same. It hit me the same way when I started digging into this stuff. We've got to go back to the fundamentals, right? Marketing fundamentals. And it's a great time for doing that because previously we were kind of enslaved to this whole idea of like keyword ranking or some very, kind of micro tactic of like, yes, all of those are still important, but like you were saying earlier, Kevin, we need to train the algorithms now. It's in our hands to train the algorithms with superior content and rich content that speaks to so many different people so that we don't know where it comes from, but we need that visibility.
I think you also have to train the entrepreneur or the seller because they're trained on keywords and keyword stuffing and everything that comes with that.
Yeah. And it's frustrating because a lot of times they'll be so stuck in their ways. It takes them 6 months to a year to kind of shift gears even a little bit. That's what I've noticed. Like, I don't see people springing into action. In fact, they're opposing it. They're saying, no, this is not true. Who uses Rufus? And, things, who uses AI for searching products and stuff like that. I don't think I agree with Kevin and Norm. You guys have been thought leaders in this space, and I totally agree with your stance here. So,
who do you Where does the needle go? Over to Kevin or over to Norm? Like,
It goes in this direction.
jeez.
That's a broken needle. I think that needle is broken. Right?
Yeah, I do too.
We need to recalibrate that. We need to get this thing recalibrated.
Okay, we're at the top of the hour, and we have one question. We always have one question for our guest or our misfit. Do they know a misfit?
I really admire Molly Pittman. I don't know if you guys have already met her, or she's a Facebook guru. Like,
Right.
I just love her. And I followed her work for a very long time. So if you happen to have a chance to, I don't personally know her, but I follow her all the time. So
Okay, very
Yeah.
good. All right,
Awesome.
everybody. So let's see. Oh, we forgot one thing. Your contact.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, my email is ritu@ppcninja.com. That's the best way to get in touch with me. But you can follow me on LinkedIn, Ritu Java, my full name. And I post a lot of content there. You can also go to ppcninja.com, not the other PPC Ninja. There's another PPC Ninja, Norm. It's 10 minutes from my house. I can't believe it. I traced them
What?
down. Yeah,
Really?
there's another PPC Ninja. They do Google ads only. And when we search for PPC Ninja, we always kind of see both our listings up. So, whatever. But anyway, so this is ppcninja.com. And we do advertising. We're an agency. And hit me up if you have any questions. Ritu@ppcninja.com.
And if you got JavaScript questions, especially, right?
We'll see. I'll pass them on to my LLM assistant and give you an answer.
Well, thanks for coming on, Ritu. This has been fun.
Thank you so much. Same
All right.
here. Take care.
We're
Bye,
gonna
guys.
remove you
All right.
one of these days. Here we go. All right.
Yeah, that's good stuff. I think you and I have been both saying it for a while. You got to get back to the fundamentals, and it's
You got
almost
to
like
know the fundamentals.
you got to know the fundamentals, and it's almost like people have been poo-pooing your press release. You have a press release company, and you've been hyping that for years. Like, look, guys, this works. This is it's not an instant thing. You're not going to like put a press release out and all of a sudden make $1 million that people expect. But you do this consistently, and look where it's going to go. It's going back to it's coming back around, and that's why, like at BDSS, you remember in Iceland, I changed it from the hacks contest, to the smart marketing contest, because I'm like, hacks are not where it's at anymore. It's more core fundamental things. So I think Ritu's onto something there, and I think everybody listening needs to rewind this and pay attention to what she was saying, and implement. That's the key, is implement. Don't go nod your head like most of us do when we're sitting in a conference, take some notes and never look at them again, but actually implement.
Oh, did you say implement?
I said implement. Yeah, that's a big word.
It is.
Can you spell that?
Nope. Multisyllabic words I keep away from.
You can spell that?
I can, it'll be more like implants or something.
Yeah, it's no, that's good stuff. Ritu's always sharp and always got some good stuff.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, if you like good stuff, where can they find good stuff, Norm?
I think they can find it at Marketing Misfits Podcast. What do you think?
Yeah, the Marketing Misfits podcast, marketingmisfits.co, right?
Marketingmisfits.co, or they can head over to YouTube, and we have 2 channels. One for the long form, and that's under Marketing Misfits Podcast. One for clips that are 3 minutes and under, and that's Marketing Misfits Clips. We also have a TikTok channel that's doing actually quite well right now.
That's it. If you like this episode, be sure to share it with a friend that might benefit from listening to it, or check us out every Tuesday. Brand new episodes come out every single Tuesday on Spotify, on Apple, on YouTube. And like Norm said, check us out on the interwebs too, especially if you want to see Ritu's little demo of what she showed here. If you're listening to this audio, you can see that in the video version on YouTube. Other than that, we're out. We'll see you again next
right.
Tuesday.
See you later, everybody.
Take care. Ciao.